Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We were away last week and we actually didn't get time to cover what was a pretty major announcement, a really bullish announcement for Hedera Hashgraph. And of course, I believe the HBAR token in the longer run. And that, of course, was the announcement that came out of Hedera. And that is the taking up of a new COO. I'm, of course, referring to Sham. We've previously seen Sham. And we're going to be looking at a clip of him talking on Hedera. He's obviously came from IBM. He's got 20 plus years of experience. Very interestingly in AI. And actually there's this real synergy between AI and blockchains. And I think Hedera is largely going to be at the heart of that. We know that Lehman actually I think has his doctorate in AI, which is very interesting, or his PhD in AI, which is very interesting. And there's this kind of marrying of these two technologies, which are both individually bullish, but I believe combined create this kind of supercharged innovation that I honestly believe is going to attract certainly hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars into our Web3 industry. So we're really going to be exploring that in this video. We're going to be looking at the announcement. I want to start things off interestingly. We've got a couple of clips to play. We're going to be talking about an application that can capture certainly hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars on Hedera, that Hedera very much is leading the charge in. And actually with this announcement of a new COO, that looks even more likely. But where I want to start the video off, interestingly, we're going to look at a clip from Lehman. We're going to look at a clip, obviously, from Sham, who is, of course, the new CEO of Hedera, or COO, not CEO, I do apologize. But where I want to start off is with Michael Dell. Now, Michael Dell, for those of you that don't know, is the CEO of Dell. He's the founder of Dell Technologies, one of the largest companies in the world. They also happen to be on the Hedera Governing Council. One of the things, and I continue to state this, that makes Hedera very unique is the Governing Council. And it's a very different approach to the spawn of this industry with Satoshi's vision, the white paper that came out on the 31st of October 2018. And then, of course, the first Genesis block was mined in 2019. And there was a vision sort of put out that everybody could sort of run a node. There is a vision for Hedera to get to that point. But to start off, what they've done is, as they are trying to capture the enterprise world, they're trying to capture the world broadly, but certainly they're trying to attract enterprise use cases. They decided to found the Governing Council and fill it with enterprises that are ultimately all going to look to use Hedera in some way, shape, or form, or certainly explore the usage of it. And this is very unique. And this is one of the real strengths of Hedera. And Dell, of course, is a Governing Council member. They have been for a while. It was just a couple of weeks ago, actually. There was a kind of summit, a convention. Lehman spoke at it. We're going to play a clip from that. But I can't remember who he was in regards to Dell. He actually spoke, and he spoke about the kind of transformative nature. I think he was on stage with Nwakidi, who, of course, we interviewed recently, just last week, on how Red Swan is tokenizing with Hedera commercial real estate, and they've got something like 5 billion and maybe 3 billion in the pipeline, and the whole world is going to do that. So we always look at Hedera from this kind of almost financial point of view, and it's going to crush it in that department, certainly when we talk about micropayments. And actually, to enable what we're going to talk about today, micropayments is a thing involved in that world. But actually, Hedera's scope for changing the world is far beyond that. And that's what I want to talk about, and I want to relate that to the new announcement of the new COO at Hedera. So this is Michael Dell. This is a tweet from Michael Dell. Dell, of course, is a Governing Council member of Hedera that are actively looking to use Hedera, by the way. I think that's been made very clear. Global knowledge work is a $20 to $30 trillion annual economy. AI could boost efficiency by 5 to 20%, unlocking $1 to $6 trillion in value yearly. Achieving this might need 400 billion to 1 trillion in AI investment. ROI is massive and transformative. Worth it? Absolutely. And I believe, of course, there's going to be an AI element in this in regards to really what's meant by knowledge work, data work. There's going to be an AI element to this, of course, the large part, but there's actually going to be a blockchain element to this, or a distributed ledger element to this, as in regards to structuring that knowledge, providing provenance for that knowledge, that data. It really boosts efficiency in a kind of seamless, immutable manner. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video, because you can see just by Michael Dell, who would be one of the people in the most know about this industry, the size of it, 20 to 30 trillion annually. actually by utilizing technologies like AI and actually blockchain more broadly, you're going to make the whole industry more efficient, and there's value that comes on the back end of that. And this is why these blockchains ultimately are going to be adopted. What I want to do now, before we dive into the announcement, is actually play this very quick clip of Lehman actually talking about the kind of more broader tokenization. We talk about real world assets, but actually in the form of knowledge and the kind of unlock that brings. And really, this falls into the category of global knowledge work and the market that it currently is of 20 to 30 trillion. And the need for a transformative innovation to take place on it. And the beautiful thing with Hedera, this is one thing that it's doing. There are hundreds. Finance, of course, is the big one where you're going to see hundreds of trillions. But you have social sort of parameters to it. You have obviously AI, technological parameters deep in, governing, identity. We can go on supply chains, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is why Hedera is my largest position and why I'm such a fan of it, because when you truly understand, first of all, the capability of this technology, and certainly Hedera, and the scope of the market that it's going after, and the early state that it's in. Let's play this clip now of Lehman, and then we're going to dive into the announcement.
It's another challenge, I think, for AI. For AI, yes, and for DLTs helping with it, is the whole question of what if you don't have a data set from one company or 3 companies? What if you have 10,000 people who have volunteered to let you use their data in exchange for a fraction of the license fees? Well, that's actually something that makes sense because we need data from so many people. It may not be one company that has all the data we need. We may actually want to collect data from everybody who's sending tweets, getting permission. Hey, can I use your tweets in exchange for giving you a fraction of the licensing fees? In which case, we need to track ownership of microscopic fractions of this database and then do micro payments to all those people automatically in real time. Okay, you need a DLT for that. I can't write you a check for 1/10 of a cent. The cost of doing so will exceed the 1/10 of a cent, but I can send you cryptocurrency for that. I can send you tokens for that. And so I think that what we see is that DLTs enable us to do this new kinds of business models where we are fractionalizing the ownership of the data that was used to create it, and we get people earning for that. And I'm very excited about those opportunities. As with many other areas, DLTs like Hedera make things so much faster and cheaper and simpler that we can now enable new kinds of business models that just weren't practical before.
You get where I'm going with that clip, certainly relating it to what Michael Dell is talking about. Of course, Dell, a member of Hedera's governing council. Let's dive into the announcement. So this took place last week. I was away, so we didn't get a chance to cover it, although we covered it on our website. We covered it on a number of other, certainly on Twitter, we announced it. But we didn't get a chance to do a YouTube video. And I think this announcement ties in perfectly with what I've been talking about. Now, this was the announcement from Hedera themselves. We're thrilled to announce and welcome as Hedera's new COO with 20 years plus of leadership in AI, blockchain, and digital transformation. Sham has a proven track record of driving business growth, operational efficiency, and innovation on a global scale. Hello, future. Of course, this was the official announcement from Hedera. It talks about a number of things. It talks about a proven leader in emerging technologies. Sham's career includes key leadership roles at IBM, one of the largest companies in the world. Also, I may add, a Hedera Hashgraph governing council member. I mean, just all you got to do is watch one of these videos and you'll sort of get the scale or the bullish magnitude that Hedera truly is. Where he led responsible AI and blockchain innovation, driving triple-digit growth and helping position IBM as a leader in enterprise blockchain services. His ability to scale complex technologies and deliver results for Fortune 500 companies speaks to his depth of expertise in both business and technological strategies. Notably, Sham played a pivotal role in developing IBM's PaaS solutions, which was adopted by NYC, New York City, and reached over 12 million users and led the growth of IBM's blockchain digital asset business, generating significant revenue. His ability to bridge technologies with business outcomes has made him a sought-after leader in the field of AI, blockchain, and data-driven transformations. Again, going back to what Michael Dell, obviously the CEO of Dell, is talking about here. You know, this is just bullish all around, and I think he's taken, or his experience is perfect for what Hedera is trying to do more broadly. So it's dominating, I think, or is going to dominate the financial sector as it relates to distributed ledgers, but it's also going to do far more than that. And it's one of the few distributed ledgers out there that can do everything. What I want to do now, guys, actually dive into a clip of him talking. This is a couple years old, but this is, I believe, when IBM sort of started to or become a governing council member. What he says here aligns with what Michael Dell's talking about, Lehman's talking about, and of course, what I think he's going to enable in regards to his new role as COO. Let's dive into this clip and then we're going to wrap the video up.
We've always, over the last 15 years, we've always promoted the concept of data as a product. And it's true. I mean, Bloomberg and the likes actually commoditize that. What we are finding is that these data that's generated is sitting behind huge firewalls and don't have a proper opportunity to be assetized and shared for commercialization purposes. And what we now believe is that data, while respecting the security, privacy, and as well as ownership and control, can now be assetized and tokenized in a world where new business models can be had.
So you're talking about both monetizing data as well as actual assets in the supply chain?
That is correct.
Yeah, it sounds like every asset that an organization could think that they have, right? Anything of value, there is something that can be, put on a DLT, can be sort of elevated. So to your point that you are maybe perhaps just seeing the metadata, you're not seeing, the specific individual's data, but you are able to extract value from that.
Yeah, it applies for both tangible assets and as well as intangible assets, right? So intangible assets like mortgages or patents and copyrights and trademarks are a big part of this ecosystem, which is, are treated as illiquid assets. But the reality is that they can be liquid if they are controlled and the ownership and as well as the licensing rights and the royalties can be very efficiently exchanged across multiple parties. That's where DLT technologies come into the play.
So this is the real internet of value that is, we're on the cusp of, and that internet of value sees hundreds of trillions moving around. It sees entirely new asset classes forming, and distributed ledgers, of course, AI plays a role in this, but distributed ledgers are at the heart of it. They're the driving mechanism that sees it come to fruition. Any one aspect of this is tens, hundreds of trillions. I think Hedera is going to capture a good market share of that. Does that mean its market cap's going to get to those sort of valuations? Could I see, and I'm going to throw this out there, and it's just my opinion, could I see a $1 trillion Hedera Hashgraph HBAR market capitalization? Yes. If it does what it set out to do, we know there's a kind of bit of a cold war going on when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. And actually nations are going to adopt these technologies because they're going to want a hand in the kind of future, hello future, Hedera's sort of phrase. It's just such a bullish outlook when you look at HBAR. And the announcement of the COO, you couldn't have a more perfect man for the job. I will hopefully be reaching out to perhaps the individual to get him on the show, because we love obviously talking to builders that build on Hedera. And when we do that, what we do is usually an hour or so long video where people just go, wow, I didn't know any of that. And, this is an amazing, one of the best distributed ledgers out there. So that's it from me, guys. Very interesting. I want to know your thoughts on the announcement. I want to know your thoughts on the new coming internet of value. We're going to see entirely new economies spawn out of this and major opportunities get birthed from it. And of course, the important thing for us as, certainly myself as an investor in this technology, is the positioning of it and the role that it's going to play in enabling all that. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.